Hello everyone, Ron here from L.T.L Tutoring Central, and if you're looking for study tips and strategies to help you learn well and have fun while you're doing it, you are in the right place. This week I'm talking about be a mentor. What do I mean by that? I mean that you can teach others while you're learning, and you can do it in a couple of ways. You can just be a good model, but I think the best is to be an active mentor in actually helping others to learn. In this way, it's a win-win situation because you will learn more and you will be helping someone else to learn more. That'll also make you feel good about yourself and also your own learning. So it might be a win-win-win situation, I'm not sure. The idea is that when you teach someone else, when you try to help someone else learn the material, whether it's material you're learning now or whether it's material you've learned in the past but you're reviewing it, you will learn so much more because you have to review the material, rehash it, and package it in a different way when you're explaining it to someone else than when you're just doing it yourself. Sometimes when we do things ourselves, we go more quickly and we think we understand the material. You've had this happen to yourself probably when you've read something, you understood it, you're fairly sure about it, and a day later, a week later, when you go to do a test or when you just rethink about it, or you're talking to someone about it, maybe your teacher, maybe just another student in the class, you realize I didn't completely understand that piece, and you have to go back. When you teach someone else, you have to clarify it for them. You have to explain it so well so that they can understand it, that you actually understand it better yourself. Often when you teach someone else, you also see things you didn't see the first time or the first couple of times you went through it on your own. You also can often reinterpret things in a different way, because the more often we read something or see something, experience something, we see it in a different way sometimes. You may have had this experience when you've watched a movie and or read a book, and then months later or even years later you see it again and you think, I never noticed that before. But it can even be a couple of days later. You could just rewatch it and say, oh, I didn't notice that the first time. I didn't recognize that character was doing that the first time. So repetition is very helpful, but repetition in a different way can be even more helpful, and that's what this is. So if you rehearse your material yourself 2 or 3 times, that can be useful. But if then you teach someone else, it's a different kind of repetition, because as I say, you have to be much more specific for them, and that helps you too. So be a mentor. It's a wonderful thing. Now, if there isn't someone around, so you're learning something and you want to make sure that you really, really understand it, but there's nobody around or nobody who's interested in learning about chemistry or whatever you're studying, algebra, you can fake it. They say fake it till you make it. You can sort of fake it. It's not perfect, but you can teach your dog, teach your cat, teach the wall, put a picture up and talk to the picture. Pretend that you're teaching somebody else, because that has almost the same results. Not quite, because obviously probably your dog is not going to ask you questions, and that can be helpful too. And your dog is not going to have different interpretations, so you won't get that feedback really. But to be honest, if you practice, you can almost give that feedback to yourself, because you can sort of, like I say, you imagine that you're teaching someone else, and then you can also, if you get good at it, you can imagine what kind of questions would someone new or to this particular material, what would they possibly ask me? And it's not the same exactly, but it can sort of work. I do it all the time. I've mentioned before in videos that I talk to myself, and that's because I can re-rehearse the material, and if I can explain it to someone else, whether there's a person here or not, I get a better understanding myself. Maybe somebody will come with a net and take me away, I'm not sure. But I don't think so. I think that it's a really good way of helping yourself learn. Lots of professionals do this when they have to give a presentation or a speech. what do? They pace and they talk it out. They talk it over and over and over until they come up with what they feel is a really good explanation for somebody else. So it's a wonderful way to help you learn, and it's also a wonderful way to help others at the same time. So I hope you'll try being a mentor, model great learning behaviors, but also help someone else when you can. That's it for this week. Check out the blog. It's about mentoring as well, and I think I mentioned a few different things in the blog and the video. Also, I'll put a link to the website below. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe, by the way. Click on the notification bell so you'll get notifications when there's new videos and blogs on learning strategies and skills. So it's Ron from L.T.L Tutoring Central. Have a great week. Keep learning and keep having fun. Until next time, bye-bye.